What is up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video, another episode of Everybody Hates Black Men. I am your host, Edward Anderson. I want to give a quick talk. So it's been a minute since I've done an upload. So I'm going to try to do these more and more and more. So definitely, support it. Shout out to you all that have supported, in July. But let's jump right into it. So I want to talk about, I saw a post and I'm probably putting, different pictures in here so you all could see it. As far as a post of showing the people trying to label, people had a problem with Megan Thee Stallion's twerking in She-Hulk versus Ryan Reynolds dancing. So you got a lot of idiots that they like to say a lot of cute stuff online. A lot of dudes that like to white knight, and they like to sound so morally superior. They like to sound like, they have the moral high ground. They can't be wrong. People kill me in how righteous. That is very annoying how righteous people are. This is a white guy. These are white dudes. These are kind of like, so it's not just like a black dude caping for a black chick, and people feel just so morally right. And in today's political environment, you have people that clearly feel so justified in what they say, and they think because they got a little trick that it just makes so much sense that and I also love how people try to label people something. Like what they'll try to do is say, for all the incels that have a problem, because that's the only thing, right? Men are sexually frustrated, and that's the only reason why dudes will have an opinion. So apparently all the men that are having sexual access to women are kissing their ass, don't have a problem with women, because women just do everything that men want them to do if they're sexually attracted, right? And it's just these guys that, they can't get a girlfriend. They're just so angry. And keep in mind, the people that are labeling somebody an incel are people actively participating in the same thread. So clearly you have an interesting amount of proximity to quote unquote incels. And this is somebody that was like at the top of the comments versus, and the post was really designed to highlight the difference. Right? So let's break this down. Me personally, just so you all are not wasting your time, I the Ryan Reynolds dance was, it was a good pattern interrupt. It's not something that I'm gonna be like, oh, he danced to NSYNC. I'm like, and let's be real. Unless you're a certain age, I'm 37 years old. So unless you're a certain age, that song would have came out when I was in, I think, 7th grade, 8th grade. So keep in mind, if you're like 10 years younger than me, meaning you'd still be 27, you might not really catch that reference. That'd be just something catchy, something you can play. Also, keep in mind, Ryan Reynolds actually has an advertising company, not a production company, but a movie advertising company based on the work that he's had to learn and stuff to actually promote Deadpool. So he kind of understands how to put certain stuff in there to make stuff trendy and stuff. And then the Deadpool character kind of allows for stuff like that to happen, right? So number one, that's in the beginning of the movie. So it's mainly designed, number one, to be a pattern interrupt. And to say, buckle up, this is where we're going. It was a kind of a fun thing to add into, what he was doing, what people are concerned about, which is, step on Logan. And obviously he could have did a variety of different ways. That's what he chose to do. And, people seem to get a lot of humor about it. So, but, Deadpool is not really known for dancing. He's not. And it's not like dudes are just lauding the song. The song is viral. Like Ryan Gosling's dance in Barbie, which was obviously catered to women, went viral. Which, by the way, the director of that movie, a woman, she had to fight the execs a little bit to keep that in there because that was her thing. That was her dance. It kind of organically came together, and Ryan Gosling ran with it. So, and obviously they made the money that they made, and Deadpool is making a lot of money now. So comparing that to Megan Thee Stallion's dance, let's compare it to another dance. Let's look at Jenna Ortega's dance, which she did is Wednesday, which was very, very popular. It was very, very popular. Nobody was critiquing it because, you know, a lot of Jenna Ortega gets like a lot of universal, you know, kind of praise. A lot of guys, she's one of the ones that a lot of these guys like, right? And so it's not about a dance. It's not necessarily about a dance. The She-Hulk show is trash. It is women are not watching it. And this is another thing that a lot of people always miss with these conversations. Women are not watching these movies because, quote unquote, incels don't like them. If these shows and movies are aimed at women, women will watch them. The Barbie movie showed that as a cap, if you focus particularly on the female audience, not only in the United States, but globally. So this argument that women just don't support anything is not true. That is a cap, a ceiling as to what the higher limit is, by which we get to judge all these other projects that are either indirectly or directly aimed at women. And what's going on is these women aren't picking it up. The women did not like She-Hulk. That's not men's fault. The show was bad. It was a bad movie. That's why they're not doing the second season. It cost a lot of money. It was a bad TV show, and women didn't support it for whatever reason. And the show wasn't aimed at men. The show wasn't for men. And anybody that likes to make that argument, okay, you be my guest. And it's not because it wasn't aimed at men. So, and that's another thing. If these things are not demonstrated, they'll never say that these shows are not aimed at men, because then you gotta blame the women for not watching it. Because if men don't watch it, men can easily say, well, it's not for us. So you always got to keep it ambiguous. But sticking on the dance part, Megan Thee Stallion's dance, number one, twerking and dancing is not the same thing. Twerking, like certain dances obviously have, because even you could argue that even with belly dancing, although certain things that operate in a gray area. But twerking, this idea that we're going to normalize twerking, there's a reason you're not going to see a whole bunch of white females or Caucasian females. And quite frankly, you know, even Latinas or Asians doing twerking. There's a reason that's associated with black people or black women. There's a reason. Twerking comes mainly out of stripper culture. There's other places too, but mainly that comes out of that. And you're normalizing the hypersexualization of not only black women, but quite frankly, black girls. Because what you do is you turn twerking into a low-key like nursery kind of rhyme dance kind of thing, where it becomes innocent and you give people a false understanding that that's some innocent stuff to do. And it's just people don't understand because they have racial tendencies to do it. No, there's certain things that are proper, there's certain things that are not. And people can say, well, it's just a TV show. Well, people can like what they like and they can not what they not. Now, obviously, we see certain patterns. Like if you show me a Caucasian female twerking and the same people praising that, then yeah, you got a better argument. You got a better point that you can obviously make there when it comes to showing hypocrisy. If you can show a Hispanic or Latin, you got a better argument. But when Shakira was belly dancing, nobody said nothing. When Beyonce was belly dancing, nobody said nothing. But to sit here and say that Ryan Reynolds doing basically boy band moves, which obviously was not just because about 66% so far of the audience has been males that's watched Deadpool, to say that that's not, to say that doesn't, the women don't appreciate that, especially women of a certain age, given the era they might have came through, to try to act like men just saw it as a pattern interrupt, and then men thought it was funny doing it to the song, and then how he did it with in the opening montage, it was done with the example of a fighting scene. The Megan Thee Stallion twerking was done at the end. Now, obviously, I get it. They were trying to do as a surprise. But, I mean, honestly, it's a cheap surprise. I mean, She-Hulk, like, what, if you look at the typical audiences watching She-Hulk, is the typical audiences watching She-Hulk gives a damn about Megan Thee Stallion? You see what I'm saying? Like, so to sit here and try to make that direct comparison, just say, oh, because it's a woman, it's bad, is BS. Like, there's plenty of dances women have done and nobody, like, again, I go back to the Jenna Ortega Wednesday dance. You know, it's not an issue. And then men would be hella toxic. See, if men were to talk ish about the dance, now it's a problem. Now men are just being toxic. You know, they just can't handle any other kind of view of sexuality, or men just are insecure about Ryan Gosling. It's always going to be something no matter what. And it's for these people to kind of, you know, put their moral high ground out there. And that really gets stupid. And then another thing that's interesting what I'm seeing this post is Megan did that. She twerked in a political situation. That's crazy to me. Yeah, it's been known. Yes, people get to do gimmicky stuff. I'm aware of Hulk Hogan tearing up his shirt and all of that, and it is good. That's goofy. He caught criticism about that. But at the end of the day, to see, it's interesting how I'm only seeing black women. Yeah, you had what's her name? I forget what her name. She did the Wrecking Ball song. She was wilding out, but it was perceived that she was acting crazy. Like, she's not acting, becoming what a white woman's supposed to act like. That was pretty much established. Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus. And people say, oh, she's just trying to change her image. That's what that was clearly put in. And when she stopped doing that, she took that costume off, aka how she was acting, and she acted very differently when she was getting, what I think, was it Liam Neeson? Not Liam Neeson, but Liam Hemsworth. So, you see how that works? Versus Megan Thee Stallion, that's who she is. She's a one-trick pony. And by the way, Cardi B didn't even twerk like that. Like Megan needs to start actually being a rapper and stop throwing out hits every once in a long while and stop twerking at political, because she doesn't understand whether she likes it or not. She represents black women, and black girls look up to her, and she's a bad role model, and she's making black women look hella bad, especially doing stuff in that context. So there's certain people that feel some type of way about Megan doing that because it's a gimmick. That's all she can do. When are you, literally, when has she ever shown up anywhere and not twerked? Like, if it's on TV or something like that. That's literally, is that all she is? Is that all she is? And for people to not even understand the racial aspects of that, the racial implications of that, there's this woman by the name of something Bartnick, where literally she was in Europe and her ass was so big, they had her like a zoo and exhibit. That's kind of low-key what that is. I know Kim Kardashian caught heat for doing that. Because she did an image, on one of the major magazines. There's an image of the bottle popping and stuff like that. That's racial in nature. That now, so this idea, just because you try to act like it's okay and put a smile on it, doesn't mean you're not looking at somebody like they're in the zoo. And so different now, granted, different people have an issue with that for different reasons. And to say that there's not any people that they just hate people or don't like people because of race or because of gender, sure, that's out there. I'm not going to deny that. And I'm not going to deny there's people that may not have those issues that like to play on that audience. But to act like that this stuff comes out of nowhere and for the most part, a lot of the cameos in She-Hulk was trash. That was just the most egregious one. Because some of them were more integral to the story, like Wong. Some of them were like these cheap tricks, and they weren't well done. And Marvel, there's a different expectation for Marvel. That's just facts. That's just facts. And nobody's watching a Marvel show saying, hey, it'd be cool. Let me see. I don't care if it's Megan. I don't care if it's a white chick. I don't care who it is. Let me see her twerking. No, that's retarded. And it's just another way of trying to insert Megan Thee Stallion into a social engineering situation. She is a pawn. She's a tool. She is not legit famous like that. She really isn't. Megan Thee Stallion is just somebody that they promote in social media to be like an avatar for stuff. That's kind of where it starts and kind of where it ends. So I wanted to pop that out there. Let me know what you think. Am I full of crap? Am I a closet incel, or I'm just mad at Megan Thee Stallion? Do you agree? Give me an example of, I answer all the comments, especially ones that are based in common sense, even the ones that disagree. And if you say something stupid, you actually might get a ping, depending on if you try to write an essay. What other dances other than the Wednesday dance that have been popular? Particularly, I want to know females. What are some male dances been popular in the last couple of years? What have been some cameos that have not worked out and not been popular? Let me know what you think, man. And again, like, share, subscribe. And this is Edward signing off. Peace.